All right, let's see what we got here. I guess we're clocked in. Hey, what's going on, party people? Now, welcome. If this is your first time here, it's definitely a pleasure to have you here. I go by the name of Lespri. I am a spiritual healer. Now, in this channel here, to give is to receive. What we do pretty much, oh, before I even get there, as a spiritual healer, pretty much what I do is that I help people to become mentally and emotionally balanced. Now, the whole purpose of helping you to become mentally and emotionally balanced is just so you can attain your highest level of consciousness. You know what they call becoming enlightened, Christ like, Krishna, Buddha, that's the whole purpose. And again, when you're looking at, let's just say, Jesus, Buddha, those are nothing but a representation of anyone who have attained that level of understanding. In other words, that's why you have many Buddhas. That's why you have, I mean, you should have a lot of Jesuses out there. What's your name? Jesus. You too? Oh, yeah. We all Jesuses. But not just to say it, but what it represents is when once you attain that level of understanding. So, essentially, as a spiritual healer, that's what I do. Now, in this channel here, to give is to receive, what we do in this channel is that we expand on a lot of those what you call proverbs, quotes, or wise saying. And the reason being is because, these things that allow you to attain that higher level of consciousness. So it's kind of like a no-brainer for me. I mean, if that does it, and that's my purpose, so we are in alignment here. But most importantly, the main thing that I also got to understand and learn about Proverbs, or the power of the words, as I like to call it, then I came to understand the true meaning of words or the power of the words when we're talking about how powerful words are. Most people would say the meanings or, profanity, for instance, that too, you could put your intention in it. Beautiful. But what I'm mainly referring to in my particular instance is that it's not necessarily the meaning of a word, but it's how a word is being used to convey a fucking idea. And every great speaker, we understand that. Even when you look at, let's just say, someone like Jesus, right? So, in a lot of his speech, he used a lot of what you would call today slangs. I mean, or metaphors. But the purpose being, but anyway, I'll talk about that because I have something else coming up later on tonight. So stay tuned. Check out my other channel, by the way, Lespri, because I'll be talking about, what I'm saying, the creative thinking, but most importantly, because that's what your highest level of consciousness is. But anyway, that's for later. Um, Now going back to the power of the words, then I truly came to understand, it's not necessarily in the meaning of what a word means, but it's how the word is being put together or how it's being said. And that's the true power when we look at, let's just say, poetry or even a name for a movie or a title. So we understand it has to be captivated. I mean, it's got to be captivating. But we're saying this because you want it's how it's being said. It's got to be presented a certain way that will allow that statement to bypass your conscious mind. So when we're truly talking about the power of words, yes, your intention is cool. That's cool. You want to add that, that's cool. I'm not taking anything away from it. You know what I'm saying? But the true power of word really lies in how it's being used and not necessarily the meaning of the actual word in itself. Now, with all of that being said, now you know exactly what we do here, as you can see in the title. Oh, another disclaimer, I guess. A lot of those quotes for me, they will derive from, I mean, it's wisdom is wisdom, regardless of where it comes from. So please know that a lot of those quotes, Some of them will be, let's just say, from this particular one though, it's from the Sufis, and then the Gnostics, like there's, voodoo. I get it wherever it comes from. As long as it does that, it gives me that, what I'm saying, that little edge that it feed me. It gotta feed me a certain way. But also the other thing that I forgot to mention about how powerful those proverbs or those statements are, because they are pretty much enclosed, not just the way things are being said. I mean, that's just to captivate your mind. But once it got you open, now you really get to delve into that treasure. You know what I'm saying? The experiences, a lot of these things, just like, like I'm pretty sure we all heard of that. If you want to tell me who you are by showing me who your friends. I mean, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Show me who you hanging out with every day and I'll tell you who you are. So a statement like that, that is a fully loaded statement. Not just the way it's actually being said, but then there's a whole bunch of other shit that it comes with that has to be unpacked for you to truly understand that. But anyway, and another benefit of that, not only that it helps you to elevate your consciousness, but also it's like, I mean, shit. I mean, not there's nothing else besides that. You know, um, I mean, shit. It's like, I mean, but you also get to see or get to learn from somebody else's experiences without you having to go through it. Or that's truly you getting your blessings. But anyway. Now going back to the conversation for later. Um, so now as you see in the title here, we suffer more through our imagination, than through reality. Now, when I first heard this, and this is actually from the Sufis, it gave me that thing. It made me feel a certain way, right? And well, first of all, let's talk about the most obvious meaning of this because this shit is really deep. But the no-brainer part of it, it's almost like, how people get scared sometimes, because of fear. Now, your imagination, you're thinking, okay, this is gonna be all of these things could happen, and sometimes just doing it, you know, that's all it is. That's kind of like the no-brainer part of it. But please don't stop there though. I wouldn't be wasting your time, trust me. So now let's just go a little bit further. Let's see what else are we talking about here? Because you also got to understand, especially, or maybe I'm being creative here, but when we're talking about reality, we're also referring to your true essence. What's really happening, what's really taking place. But for you to truly be in touch with your reality or with true reality, you got to be in touch with yourself. See, a lot of us are living in our imaginations, meaning we're living in a society where your life is based on who you should be. That's the imagination. Now we're taking it a step further. That's your imagination. And that imagination, you having to keep up with the Joneses and all of that, is even harder than the fucking reality, which is just you being in touch with yourself. I mean, who do you need to compete with? And no fucking body. But you. The fuck is this? Mm. But you. So, if you truly understand this, I mean, shit. I guess I got to expand on that a little bit more because I felt like I already give it up, give it away. But Let's just expand a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? But I also don't want to take too much of your time too. So understanding when you're living in your mind, in your imagination, meaning, and that's what the matrix is too. Now you're living in a world that pretty much has been fabricated by our thoughts that is not in touch with our true essence. People like, and out of that, those imaginations, I mean, you have created what I would call a life of hell. Now you got to keep up with the Joneses. People are, and like it's almost like you're due to your lack of self awareness. Then now that's when you become, let's just say, offended easily as well, because you're not rooted in who the fuck you are. And because of that, obviously, if you don't stand for anything, well, you fall for everything. So, understanding that, when you have it's like when you don't see things for truly what they are. That's what I'm referring to, and that's the true reality. When you truly get to see things for who they are, and that's what we also say, knowing the truth will set you free. You don't have to compete with anybody. You're like, what the fuck? For what? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't born like we were born in separate world. You know what I'm saying? Like just look at your life. It's all about you, motherfucker. What your life got to do with my life, and what my mine has to do with yours. If it's not inspiring you, you know what I'm saying? I strongly advise not to waste your time. And that's what, let's just say, when we talk about, and that's what I do too as a spiritual healer. That's why I'm holding the mirror of knowledge for you to reflect, for you to see yourself. So again, I guess the main point here is that, you know what I'm saying, you need to truly see reality for what it is. Because just by seeing things for what they are, now listen, man, it just is what it is. You see what I'm saying? And we always say that too when we're talking to other people. Why do you worry about the things you don't have? You never seen motherfuckers worry about shit they don't have? You know what I'm saying? And it could be all so simple. You know what I'm saying? Be happy with what you have. Well, and then once you become happy with what the fuck you have, and guess what happens? You know what I'm saying? You live in a whole better life, bro. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta compete with nobody. You do things that you can afford. Nigga, you good. You're doing the best of you. You know what I'm saying? So again, that statement could be viewed on so many different levels. But the main thing that I wanted you guys to, get out of this first is that you got to be deeply rooted into reality. And true reality is relating to yourself, you know. And in addition to that, too, for you to really understand, what I'm saying, the power of words, man. Get your medicine. I'm out. Haitian. Ali.